we're excluding from the rich. Because sometimes we go, oh, not them, not that rich person. Here's the thing. Most rich people are going to do what is in the best interest of them staying rich and staying on top. So when you're wondering why a Snoop Dogg, a Soulja Boy, or Rick Ross is performing at an inaugural ball or inauguration for Donald Trump, it's because they're all rich. And rich people are always going to do things for other rich people because they all want to stay rich. So when people talk about, well, Donald Trump wasn't ever thought of to be a racist before this, because they were all just rich people. They were all just rich people. We knew about the Central Park Five. We knew about him not wanting black casino workers, to be up front in his casinos. We knew that he wasn't renting to black people. People knew those things, but rich people were just being rich. They associate with each other. They hang out with each other. And at the end of the day, they only care about their money. Rick Ross, Soulja Boy, Snoop Dogg, they don't care about your politics. They don't care about the black community. And it's not like they've even been hiding it. All of their songs talk about, I'm just trying to make money. That's what they're trying to do. So this is why you have these people now bending the knee to Donald Trump, because there's a lot of money to be made by being on Donald Trump's side. And so I watched Keith Boykin. I'm a big fan of the guys. I think that guy stands on business. I think he says what he means what he says. But I think he's kind of missing the point when he talks about the disrespect to the black community from these guys. I don't think he's missing the point because he's right, but I think he's missing what's important to these guys. And it's not any of those things he's talking about.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at Donald Trump, the man who would refuse to rent to black people in the 1970s, who tried to lead a lynch mob against 5 black and brown kids in the 1980s for the Central Park case, who refused to allow black casino workers to have a prominent place in his casinos in Atlantic City in the 1990s, who spent 5.5 years lying about Barack Obama's birth certificate in the 2000s, who came in office and then attacked black people like Colin Kaepernick, who attacked Ruby Freeman and her daughter Shay Moss for simply doing their jobs as Fulton County election workers. You dishonor those people when you go and perform for this man who has done nothing but dishonor black people. And just last year, he was calling Haitian immigrants, accusing them of eating cats and dogs. This is not somebody that black people should be associated with and pretending to normalize. We should be challenging him. And it dishonors the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose birthday we honor on Monday, to celebrate this man.
And sadly, he's right, but it's not about those things to them. They don't think about that at all. They don't think about the Central Park Five. They don't think about the casinos. They don't think about him not renting to black people. They don't think about things that he said about Barack Obama. They don't think about him using DEI and woke as a replacement for the N-word or saying black people or whatever. They don't think about that. They're thinking about their money. That's it. And so we have to come to terms with that. We have to come to terms with the fact that rich black people are just rich people. They don't care. This is why you have Snoop Dogg in this inaugural ball, right? Playing music with the N-word in it, while these people are singing along, saying the N-word as well. These are the types of people who would call the police on me if I jogged through their neighborhood. These are the type of people who, if you pulled up next to them playing one of those Snoop Dogg songs really loud, they would roll up their windows, lock their doors, and pray to God you didn't look at them. But yet it's okay for them to stand in this place and dance to his music and all that. These people are the same people who would call him ghetto if they saw him on the street. And the second he says something cross about Donald Trump again, they will call him the N-word, call him ghetto and all that. And guess who does not care? He doesn't. Because for him, there's no publicity that is bad publicity. So while we're getting all pissed off about Snoop Dogg, I can't believe he's doing this to the black community, you got to understand. Rich black people are rich people. Rich Hispanic people are rich people. Rich white people are rich people. They care about all of them being rich more than they care about them being black. Being black is secondary to Snoop Dogg. Being black is secondary to Rick Ross. Being black is secondary to Soulja Boy. It may not even be secondary, but what is first with them is being rich. This is why I always talk about this. When you are a conservative black person, you have to be okay with sitting in a room with them and listening to their subtle and sometimes overt racism and being okay with it. When you are rich You're just rich. So when Donald Trump is in a room with Snoop Dogg and he's talking about, DEI and woke and all that, Snoop Dogg doesn't care. He's thinking about where he's getting his next dollar, his next joint. And this is why we just have to come to terms with the fact that these people don't give a damn about us. They don't care about our community. They don't care what this is doing to young black kids. You would think if Snoop Dogg got in a room with Donald Trump and Rick Ross and Soulja Boy got in a room with them, they would talk about, what are we doing for the black community? Hey, remember that platinum plan for Black America you talked about back in 2020, Trump? You gonna bring that up again? What are you going to do for the black community? They don't give a shit, because the only black community they care about is the one inside their house. And that is it. They care about the people in their home and the money that they're making. And that's all they care about. So once you come to terms with that, you look at this, you see them performing, you're like, whatever. It's rich people being rich. We got to look out for ourselves. We can't expect these rich black people to be standing up for us. They just don't. Obviously, there's some of them out there who will. They'll stand on business and everything. But for the most part, rich people are going to be rich people, and they're going to look after rich people. And that is it. End of story, period.
Don't want no enemies or ops.